Yo, it's Chris, and this is a review of the Ghostglides Courage mousepad, which I paid about €60 for over on Max Gaming, which is a premium price, but luckily this mousepad delivers with its great performance. I've used it for about a month now, and I have about 100 hours of playtime using it. The Courage measures 490 by 420 millimeters, which has been the standard size for mousepads for a minute, but this size is also one of the two small negatives, and a large amount of mousepads have been coming out with a 500 by 500 size, and this seems to be the preferred size by many aimers. I personally don't really find myself needing more vertical space, but having more of it would be very nice. Before getting further into the review, I do want to mention that over 98% of you are not actually subscribed. So if you can, please hit that subscribe button and the bell right next to it. It really helps the channel a lot. But now, without further stalling, let's get back to the video. The surface has a very unique feeling. It's very smooth, soft, and stretchy. The material kind of reminds me of gaming sleeves, and it's made out of spandex, which gives it that sporty feel. And on the topic of sleeves, they unfortunately don't work with this surface. Personally, that doesn't bother me, but I just wanted to let you know in case that is something important to you. It is a speed-oriented pad, which is my personal preference. There's almost no static friction and very low and smooth dynamic friction, and the stopping power is just about perfect. I've done the majority of testing on the ESP Tiger Yanzi dots and the Ultra Glide RS dots, and both of them performed amazingly, and the only skates I absolutely hated on the surface were actually the core pads, which made the mousepad feel very muddy and slow. But instead of talking about it, let me show you how it performs with a variety of skates. I need to address the number one thing that initially made me interested in this mousepad, and that would have to be the absolutely beautiful, gorgeous manga-inspired art. It's seriously a real piece of art made by real people without any help from AI. I have to give Ghostglides massive props for this. They have seriously done an amazing job with this pad. I love it. The unboxing experience is honestly what you would expect. It comes shipped flat in a very unassuming box, and it has arrived safely without a single dent. But that's all I can say about it, honestly. Nothing mind-blowing, but good enough. The base is made out of polyurethane foam, and it has swiftly become one of my favorite mousepad bases. It's very similar to Poron, but the overall performance seems to be better in my personal opinion. Since Poron doesn't work on every surface, for example, on my old desk it would just slide around and I had to use a bunch of water under the pad to keep it steady. I luckily didn't need to do any of that with the Courage, and I'm genuinely happy about that. The foam is very plush and soft and about 3.5mm thick, which helps with managing the speed, and if the stopping power is not enough for you, then you can just push your mouse into the mousepad just a little bit and it will become way more manageable. Especially if you're using dot skates due to their smaller surface area. But moving on, I would compare the softness to something like the Artisan Extra Soft, which I personally didn't like, but for some reason it really just works on this pad, so I have nothing to complain about here. I also do want to mention the humidity resistance, which is really good. Since my apartment keeps going from anywhere around 40% up to 70% humidity, and the mousepad performed exactly the same no matter what the humidity was. This is not something that was heavily advertised, but with how amazingly it performed, it definitely should have. The edge stitching is also very good. It's not as good as Artisan stitching, but it's nonetheless really high quality, and my unit has the stitching just about level with the surface, and it didn't bother me whatsoever when I was using it, even after long hours. Yet again, nothing to complain about. I have used the Courage mainly in tracking heavy games such as Apex and Overwatch, and it was a blast. This is where I think the mousepad performs the best, but it's not to say that it doesn't perform well in more tactical scenarios with more flick heavy games. If I had to rank them, then tracking would be 8.5 out of 10 and flicking would be something like 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10. Which means that the tracking is really only beaten by glass mousepads and the flicking beaten by more control-oriented pads. Overall, the in-game performance has been nothing short of great. The other negative that I spoke about would be the fact that this mousepad is made in a limited amount since it was a limited edition. So I wholeheartedly hope that Ghostglides releases a basic version with the same surface, or that they use a surface with a different limited edition. It being limited is not exactly negative, not really anyway, but it did make it a bit harder to get your hands on, which is unfortunate. So all of that leads me to the question, should you get one? And the answer is obviously yes, as long as you can get your hands on it. Unfortunately, I don't think it's available anymore, at least it isn't available where I looked, which is honestly a huge shame because this mousepad is seriously something amazing. But as I said before, hopefully Ghostglides releases another version with the same features. If you have the Ghostglides Courage or different Ghostglides products, please let me know what you think about them down in the comments. Also, do let me know what other products you would like to see me cover in the future. I do want to mention that I have a Twitter or an X account. My ad is on the screen right now, so definitely give me a follow if you're interested in peripheral news or if you just want to see more of my content that is exclusive on there. All of the other links to my social media are down in the description below. If you've liked this review, please let me know by liking this video and subscribing. You can also click the notification bell to not miss any of my future uploads. So, anyways, that's it. See ya. Yo, it's Chris, and there's what the fuck just happened?